looking, side retired. Dominating night for DeGrom. Struck him out. Got him looking. 13 for DeGrom.
Woo! If DeGrom's domination doesn't get you pumped for this year, I don't know what will. Hello and welcome to the show, beautiful people. I'm Chris Williamson. Ahead on Geico Sports Night, we see King Henrik get extremely emotional on the loss of Matt Zuccarello. Plus, it's going to be a spicy battle between Luke Voit and Greg Bird for first base. Moving pictures on deck for who may have the edge now. But we start with Jacob DeGrom's first start in spring training since his historic 2018 season. DeGrom facing the Astros. Port St. Lucie, first batter of the game. Tony Kemp lines a 1-2 pitch into the right field corner. A leadoff double for Kemp. Next batter, DeGrom gets Kyle Tucker on the pop-up for his first out of the spring. Now, an 0-2 count to Michael Brantley. Weak grounder in the hole, fielded by Dom Smith. He tosses to the covering DeGrom for the second out. Next batter, Tyler White flares a single into shallow right center. Kemp comes around to score. The Astros grab a 1-0 lead. But that's all DeGrom would allow. He strikes out A.J. Reed. 1 run, 2 hits, and a strikeout in his inning of work. Here's DeGrom afterwards.
Felt like I made a couple good pitches that they hit. High fastball and then a down-away fastball. They got, drove in that run. But the main thing was just going out there feeling good. Was trying to work on fastball command to both sides of the plate. Didn't throw very much off speed. But the main thing for me is establishing my fastball. I was nervous today going out there the first time, and I think everybody's like that. You want to go out there and be able to, I guess for me, I want to be able to repeat what I did last year. That's going to be tough to do. But I think the way I'm looking at it, hey, it's a new year. Just prepare like you did last year and go out there and compete for this team. And that's kind of my mindset. Go out there, give 100%, and, like I said, control what I can control. I think if we can get, most of our starters making around 30 starts, we'll be in a pretty good spot.
Later on Geico Sports Night, a look at the Mets offense on Sunday. Could Pete Alonso repeat his feat of strength from Saturday's debut? You'll find out. Both Luke Voit and Greg Bird want to help the Yankees win, but only one can be a major contributor. The two men are underway in their fight to start at first after Voit took Bird's job towards the end of last year. Saturday, Bird showed up and went 2 for 2 with a double, and Sunday, Voit seemed poised to ramp up the intensity for the competition. Yankees taking on the Rays in Grapefruit League action. First inning, Voit gets off to a good start, places a single into right center field. Tyler Wade comes in to score. Yanks go ahead 1-0. Wade also had a good day at the plate. 2 men on in the second. He sends one to the fence in left center. That nearly leaves the yard. Another run scores on the double Wade with 3 hits in the game. Yankees lead 3-0. To the third, Voit steps in again. And this time, he crushes a 96-mile-per-hour fastball from Ryan Stanek to left center for his first home run of the spring, a 3-run shot. Voit has a huge day, going 2 for 3 with 4 runs batted in as the Yankees win this one 8-5. In case you forgot, Voit's September for the Yankees, presented by Geico, was a memorable one. He batted .333 in 24 games with 10 home runs and 22 ribbies. Quite the contrast from Bird in August when he hit just .122. Since the Spurs and Knicks NBA Finals matchup in 1999, the teams have gone in 2 completely different directions. The Spurs have won 4 NBA titles, all with Coach Pop, and haven't missed the playoffs. The Knicks, though, oh boy, they've won as many titles as you and I, gone through 12 head coaches, and have only made the playoffs 6 times. 20 years later, they meet at the Garden. A Knicks loss would equal the longest home losing streak in NBA history. Here's the good news. The Spurs did not make a basket on this possession. The bad news, the Knicks did. Dennis Smith Jr. and Kevin Knox with a tandem blunder on the rebound attempt to gift the Spurs 2 points in the early going. But the Knicks actually led by 4 after the first quarter, before Emmanuel Mudiay absolutely caught fire. Beautiful shot fake before drilling the 3. He had 17 off the bench in the first half. Knicks lead 43-35. Final minute of the half, Damian Dotson with a gorgeous pass in transition for Kevin Knox. Will this finally be the night, people? Knicks with a 62-53 halftime lead. Third quarter, the lead is now 18 before Mitchell Robinson makes it 20, providing the oop for Knox's alley, and it's becoming a laugher. Knicks with a 92-72 lead. Spurs would cut the deficit to as few as 8, but they had no answer for Dotson. His career high, 8 three-pointer pushes the lead back to a dozen. And yes, Knicks fans, this is actually happening. All right, final minute. Robinson with the exclamation point, and it's party time at MSG. The home losing streak ends at 18 games. Knicks' first Garden victory since December 1st, 130-118, the final over San Antonio. For more on the Knicks' big win, here's Maria Marino.
Thanks. I'm here with Ian Begley, the Knicks beat reporter for ESPN. Can you just describe the gravity of this victory, given the extensive home losing streak coming into this one, and also the opponent?
Yeah, it felt like a big weight off of this young Knicks team's shoulders. Players were joking around in the locker room, and so it was a rare positive night for David Fizdale's crew, particularly against that opponent, the San Antonio Spurs. Not exactly an easy team to beat, whether you're at home or on the road. The Knicks were one home loss away from tying the NBA record for consecutive home losses, but of course they don't want to win too many games here going forward, because if you fall out of the bottom 3 in the NBA standings, your chances at landing the top pick in the NBA draft fall precipitously.
Well, Coach Fizdale said before the game that despite the record, each and every contest is important because they're really seeing what these players can do. How would you evaluate the player development of this young roster and how some of the players on this team could help supplement potential free agent pickups?
I think it's been solid overall. You look at players like Dennis Smith Jr., Kevin Knox, Damian Dotson, Mitchell Robinson. I think they've all had their ups and downs as Knicks, which is to be expected. But more recently, they've been playing more consistently, particularly Mitchell Robinson, who since DeAndre Jordan came here, he's been really playing well. He's been fouling less. He's been controlling the rim on both ends of the floor. And if you look at somebody like Robinson, the Knicks may say, hey, we see Robinson as our starting center going forward. So that means we're going to stay away from centers, maybe like DeMarcus Cousins in free agency, and we're going to focus on other positions.
Interesting. Thank you, Ian. For Ian Begley, I'm Maria Marino. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Maria. Believe it or not, the Knicks made the Oscars when Samuel L. Jackson from the stage informed Spike Lee that the Knicks finally won a home game. Spike Lee then accepted the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, so a huge night for the Knicks superfan. Still ahead on Geico Sports Night, you'll hear from an emotional Henrik Lundqvist on his friend Matt Zuccarello, who unfortunately may not be playing much for Dallas. Plus, the Mets will be counting on Wilson Ramos this summer, both at the plate and behind it. We'll hear from him following his Mets debut when we return.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
All right. How much for the recliner, then?
Wait. How did that get out here? That is definitely not for sale.
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's for sale.
Here we go.
Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
Our military uses high-tech surveillance equipment to keep you safe, like aircraft that can listen in on conversations from hundreds of miles away. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis. Now you too can experience super hearing with Magic Ear by Atomic Beam. It can hear a pin drop from 100 feet away. No more embarrassing complaints as you watch TV.
Please, turn that down.
You can adjust the volume for your personal listening. With Magic Ear, you don't have to turn up the volume or ask anyone to repeat themselves. This state-of-the-art breakthrough lets you adjust volume to hear better than anyone in the room. You can even hear a whisper 100 feet away.
Have you seen Dawn? She looks amazing.
And pick up sounds you'd never hear. It's hard to hear in the backseat of a car.
Are you okay?
I can't hear you back here. Now sit back and talk comfortably.
Can you hear me back there?
Loud and clear. Use Magic Ear in theaters and meetings.
What do you say?
You'll hear every word clearly, comfortably, no matter where you're sitting. Magic Ear gives you the incredible experience of super hearing. Sportsmen and bird watchers use it to hear noises that are too low for the human ear.
People think it's a pocket radio, and I like that.
I love how discreet it is. Fits in the palm of your hand. No one even knows you're listening.
Discover for yourself the thrilling experience of super hearing. Order Magic Ear by Atomic Beam right now for just $19.99. But wait, order now and you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. Plus, we'll ship them free and fast. That's 2 Magic Ear by Atomic Beam and free shipping. This technology cost over $150 million. But Magic Ear, it's a deal. Order now.
Call 1-800-401-5208. That's 1-800-401-5208. Or visit getmagicear.com. So call 1-800-401-5208. Order now.
Tuesday, UConn women's basketball returns to SNY. Crystal Dangerfield and the Huskies head to Wichita to dominate the Shockers on the hardwood. Coverage begins with pregame. Tuesday at 7, only on SNY. All things New York sports, all on one site, only on SNY.TV.
First game for the Rangers since trading Matt Zuccarello. Rangers haven't won in Washington since 2016. New York trails 3-1 late in the second. Brady Shea simply fires it towards the net, and it sneaks past Phoenix Copley. Yes, that's his real name. Sometimes, people, you just need a little luck. Rangers cut the deficit to 1. Still a 1-goal game in the final minute of regulation. Empty net for the Rangers. And it's Shea again. Nothing fluky about that one. First career multi-goal game for the Blue Liner. We go to overtime tied at 5. But just when it seemed we're headed for a shootout, a scramble at the Ranger net. A loose puck finds its way past Henrik Lundqvist. Evgeny Kuznetsov with the game winner. Rangers fall in overtime 6-5. And this was just a tough day all around for Mr. Lundqvist. Players know their teammates getting traded is a major part of professional sports. That didn't make it any easier for Lundqvist to lose his friend Matt Zuccarello to Dallas Saturday. The two built a strong bond over 9 seasons as Ranger teammates, and Lundqvist got very emotional when talking about him Sunday.
It's tough. A good friend. Sorry. I can't do it.
Personally, it was a guy who took me in from day one. Really helped me and become one of my really close friends over the years. It's really sad that he's not here, but life has to go on, and you got to move past that. But obviously, it's that good of a friend that I will keep in touch with him, and now it's just focus on hockey.
What makes matters worse, Zuccarello didn't even last 24 hours with the Stars before getting hurt. The former undrafted free agent left Dallas's game Sunday with an upper body injury trying to block a shot. He's expected to miss at least a month and could have surgery on his arm. Back to spring training. Let's check in on the Mets bats. Bottom first, Pete Alonso drives the ball to the gap in right center for a double, his only hit in 4 at-bats. Bottom 2, Mets down 4-0. Gregor Blanco gets the Amazons on the board with an RBI single back through the middle. Then bottom 3, still 4-1, new catcher Wilson Ramos with the clean single to right. Finished 2 for 2 on the day. Here he is following his first time catching Mr. DeGrom.
Exciting moment for me because I'm trying to know him better. We're on the same page. That's what I'm trying to do. It's the first time, but I feel really comfortable behind the plate right now, and able to help him, and able to learn more about him. He threw the ball in, out, a couple breaking balls, and feel good to me today. In the beginning of the spring training, everybody want to attack the hitter, and he did it today. He threw the ball really well, and hopefully next time I'll be behind the plate again and know more about him.
More DeGrom talk ahead. Why does the Cy Young winner have his manager a bit worried? We'll head back to Florida. Plus, with Gino Auriemma sidelined, could UConn win without him on the bench? And Rutgers has suffered a couple heartbreakers recently, but we have highlights of a happier ending when Geico Sports Night returns.
Do you want a truck that does one thing or a truck that does them all? A truck that's skilled enough to be all-seeing, smart enough to be all-knowing, strong enough to be all-powerful. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Coming now during the Ram President's Day event. Or get an average $14,700 in total values on select 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock. Or well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get this low mileage lease on select 2019 Ram 1500 models.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night, but it's such a pain to install a light. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and this is Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere. No wires, no pliers. Just stick it up. The industrial adhesive mounts to almost any surface instantly. And the Atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly, even on a cloudy day. That means no electricity bill and no batteries to replace. Then the motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off the light when you disappear. This state-of-the-art sensor can detect movement from up to 25 feet away, so it's a great security light too. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light, and here's the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Just look at the difference. And our unique wide-angle design covers much more ground, lighting the sides as well as in front. Stick it up on the garage, and it turns on when you pull in, then turns off when you're gone. The heavy-duty construction is weatherproof, so it shines bright all year round. And the super bright LED flat panels can last a lifetime without burning out. Get the super bright Atomic Beam Sunblast today for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can get a second Atomic Beam Sunblast plus our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight. The super bright tactical flashlight that lights up an entire room and can take a beating. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam flashlight. So light up the night with Atomic Beam Sunblast. Call now.
Call 1-800-510-7881. That's 1-800-510-7881. Or visit by sunblast.com. So call 1-800-510-7881. Order now.
Tuesday, the Amazons take the field in Port St. Lucie, looking to sharpen their skills against the Tigers as they continue preparing for some Grapefruit League ball at First Data Field. Mets, Tigers. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1, only in SNY. All things New York sports, all on one site, only on SNY.TV.
Rutgers hosting Minnesota. The Gophers firmly on the tournament bubble. Picked this one up in the second half. Rutgers up 1. They get the steal and dish ahead to Montez Mathis. He flushes it to make a 3-point game. Later in the second, it's a 2-point Minnesota lead until Geo Baker takes over. Baker drives and gets the running layup to go. That ties the game at 61. 1 minute left. It's Baker again. The shake and bake. Drains the fall away three-pointer from the top of the key. Rutgers goes ahead 64-61. Game's final seconds. Gophers need a 3. Jordan Murphy draws contact. That would lead to 3 shots at the line, but on the first attempt, Murphy misses everything. Rutgers picks up its 6th Big Ten victory. They win it 68-64. UConn hosting Cincy. Jim Calhoun in attendance for the 20th anniversary of the '99 title team. Pick it up in the second half. UConn down 6. They get the steal. Tyler Polley rises up for the 3 and sets the XL Center on fire. Danny Hurley going nuts as the Huskies cut it to 3. Final minute. It's a 3-point game. UConn on the run. Terrence Smith somehow gets the layup to go. That cuts it to a 1-point game. Now closing seconds. UConn needs a stop. Shot clock winding down. Kane Broome hits the desperation 3. That ices it for Cincy. They've won 7 straight over UConn. Final score 64-60. If UConn was to go 9-0 all-time against Tulsa Sunday, they would have to do so without their leader, Gino Auriemma, because he didn't make the trip to Tulsa because of an illness. This marks the first time the 11-time national champ missed a game since 1997 due to losing his father. Third-ranked UConn taking on Tulsa on the road. Associate head coach Chris Daly coaching in Gino's absence. Now, Megan Walker got UConn going in the first quarter. She forces a steal, pushing the ball up the court and finds Kristen Williams for the finish. UConn really poured it on in the first. Later in the first, Walker gets the pass down low, draws contact, and lays it in. Just over a minute later, Walker, little mid-range action. Then next UConn possession, Katie Lou Samuelson swings it to Walker. The jumper is pure from 3. UConn ended the first quarter on a 15-0 run. Fourth quarter, they're up 18. Crystal Dangerfield finds Walker in the corner, and she buries the 3. Walker had a double-double, 21 points, 10 boards. UConn wins 68-49. Here's Daly with Justine Ward talking about winning in place of Gino.
Well, you know, it's not about me or even Gino at this point. This was a chance for us to win the regular season outright. And anytime a championship's on the line, we want to win it. And today we won it, and so I believe we're conference champions. So that's a good thing, and I think the kids are excited about that.
UConn will hope to have Gino back on the sidelines Tuesday when the Huskies travel to Wichita State. Coverage begins at 7, followed by tip-off at 7:30. Post-game coverage follows as always, where we hope to hear from Gino, always a must-listen. Well, Jacob deGrom can only go up from here when it comes to his spring training debut. The reigning NL Cy Young winner has a 9 ERA after just 1 inning, so can't put too much stock in it. The righty did throw 14 strikes and a 97-mile-an-hour fastball in the loss. And for more on him and the Mets, here's Steve Gelbs.
Thank you very much. Joined by Anthony DiComo of MLB.com. And listen, Jacob deGrom gets his first spring start on Sunday. Nobody really cares about the results at this point. He only pitched 1 inning, did give up the run. But the one thing that Mickey Callaway said after the press conference is you would hope that some of these pitchers would pull back a little bit to start. But deGrom, of course, hitting 96, hitting 97. He made a joke about Noah Syndergaard going on Monday, saying he'll probably hit 100 miles per hour, and I'll be panicking, is what I think Mickey Callaway said. But it's just not in this pitching staff's nature. They just seemingly can't pull back at all on the throttle.
No, it's not in their DNA, and they are competitors. And on the one hand, it's not necessarily what you want because you like them to ease into it a little more. But on the other hand, you don't want to take away what makes them who they are, what makes them the competitors that they are. So, you know, the Jacob deGroms of the world, the Noah Syndergaards of the world, they're always going to be out there throwing on day one in February. And Jacob deGrom was today. Gave up a run. So what? It's spring training. We'll see how he goes as he goes along. But yeah, expectation is not just that he can be a very good pitcher and a Cy Young contender again this year, that he can kind of repeat what he did last year.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really interesting storyline to watch from my perspective anyway, and I asked Mickey Callaway about this as well. Last season was so historically good for Jacob deGrom, a 1.70 ERA, that the odds are that he won't have a repeat performance. He could still have a great year. He could still have a Cy Young year. But that could be with a 2.2 ERA or a 2.3 ERA. And so I did ask Mickey Callaway if he thought that he had to watch Jacob deGrom at all just to make sure that he wasn't putting too much pressure on himself to have a repeat performance. He said with some pitchers that might be the case, but with deGrom, he has absolutely no worries about his mental capacity to deal with something like that.
Yeah, Jacob deGrom is a machine, and I think that's where he made his biggest leap last year, was that mental aspect, because he had always had a tendency in his career to have 1 or 2 outings that would spiral out of control, and all of a sudden his ERA goes up half a run in a week. He didn't have that last year. He never had that last year, start to finish.
Now, the other non-Jacob deGrom storyline that I thought was interesting from today, and it really came out in that post-game press conference from Mickey Callaway, was the fact that Travis d'Arnaud right now is not ready to play in games. They mentioned it wasn't a health issue, but that his legs, his footwork have to catch up to his arm, and they want to make sure that his arm angle is not adding too much stress to that elbow. So we're not going to see d'Arnaud for a little bit. But Mickey also said that he views the backup catcher as an open competition, opening the door a little bit for maybe Devin Mesoraco to make this team over d'Arnaud, it sounded like.
Well, look, and that's a big part of the reason why they brought Devin Mesoraco in. And I do believe that if Travis d'Arnaud's at 100%, he's making the team as that backup catcher. But we don't know. We haven't seen Travis d'Arnaud in a year, and that's no discredit to him. This is a very hard surgery to come back from. So we're going to have to watch very carefully and see where he's at.
And we don't know what the timetable is with Travis d'Arnaud here to get into a game. I asked Mickey Callaway that. He kind of gave me a smirk and said, we're just taking it day by day here with Travis d'Arnaud. So he's a veteran savvy at this point, knowing not to give up that information. So we'll watch that as spring training progresses. For now, though, he is Anthony DiComo. I'm Steve Gelbs. Let's send it back to you.
Thanks, guys. We're not done with number 48 yet on Geico Sports Night. We'll hear Mets pitching coach Dave Eiland's advice for Jacob following an unbelievable season.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it, with licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy. It's having a walrus and goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous!
Yes! Nice save, big guy! Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Duncan, stay up. No sleepies.
4th of July has its fireworks. Christmas, gifts.
But what about President's Day? Let's just say the voters will be very happy. Announcing our best offers on America's best-selling brand. You gotta love democracy.
Now you can lease a new Ford Explorer for $239 a month. That's just $239 a month. Only at your local Ford store.
A truly historic season. Determination. Full year, 1.7 ERA. An absolute master. Domination.
Excellent.
The masterful Jacob deGrom. Come celebrate the 2018 National League Cy Young Award winner. April 7th, the first 25,000 fans will receive their own Cy Young Award, the Jacob deGrom Cy Young Bobblehead. Purchase tickets at Mets.com/tickets.
The body, it is a work of art, an incredible feat of engineering, and a beautiful biological mystery. A mystery scientists work tirelessly to unravel. And while many questions remain, we now have new insight into why our immune system has difficulty detecting cancer cells in the body. This new understanding has led to a revolutionary approach called immunotherapy, and a new hope for fighting cancer. Immunotherapy works by boosting our body's natural immune system, empowering it to identify and eradicate many types of cancer cells. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to see if this approach may be right for you or your loved one. Your body might just be your greatest hope.
SNY Play Ball, presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, is back.
I'm happy because it's fun playing with each other.
Teaming up with the New York Mets, we're looking to help local baseball and softball leagues with grants,
Really excited that we got this grant.
clinics,
This experience, it was jaw-dropping, it was amazing.
and special Dream Day experiences.
It's unreal. It's definitely just a dream come true.
Right now, we're accepting applications for local youth baseball and softball leagues. To nominate a league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball.
Jacob deGrom gave up a run, but surely he'll be in the groove in 2019 for the regular season, just like he was last year when he terrorized hitters, dropping a 1.70 ERA on them. Mets pitching coach Dave Eiland told our Steve Gelbs that he's proud deGrom won the Cy Young after all of his hard work.
It's always good to see people get what they deserve, and Jake deserved that. So, the writers did the right thing. I don't think anybody could dispute or argue how they voted, and again, very happy for Jake, his family, and the Mets organization.
What is the challenge for you as a pitching coach when you've got a guy coming off such a historic season like he did a year ago, where the odds are he's not replicating that this season? How do you approach him and almost make it so that he doesn't necessarily expect to do the exact same thing again?
Yeah, just turn the page. But you build off of what you've done in the past. But you can't sit there and compare where you're at this year after every start as opposed to where you were last year. You can't allow yourself to do that. Now other people are going to do it, but you have to block out that outside noise, and Jake's very good at that. So like I tell Jake, just go out and be Jacob deGrom. And when I say that, don't go out and try and pitch to a 170 ERA. Just go out and pitch and be yourself. And like I tell him all the time, just the only thing I want you to focus on is the next pitch.
Monday's Mets game is not on SNY, but be sure to watch Baseball Night in New York at 6. We'll have complete highlights and reaction from Noah Syndergaard's first start of the spring. BNY weeknights at 6 on SNY. More from Port St. Lucie. After Sunday's first inning, Tim Tebow had to remind himself that he's still engaged to a former Miss Universe. In the top of the inning, Tebow in pursuit of a Michael Brantley foul ball, and he appears to make a tremendous diving catch. But take a closer look. The ball pops out of his glove. In Tebow's former sport, they ruled that the ground can't cause a fumble, but no such luck here. Then in the bottom of the inning, Tebow batting with 2 on and 2 down. This has 2-run double written all over it until Miles Straw makes the catch that Tebow could not. Tebow 0 for 2 with 4 runners left on base in the Mets' 10-1 loss to the Astros. That will do it for this edition of Geico Sports Night. I'm Chris Williamson. Have a lovely Monday, beautiful people.